So I used to have an extremely low expectation of abundance. Before learning about the law of attraction and the importance of abundance, I used to work a very standard job. I was a teacher, and I was also a couponer. So I was extremely frugal, and I was always shopping discounts and sales. And I remember vividly working as a teacher and on my lunch break of all times, sitting at my desk with all of these newspapers, clipping out coupons so I could go shopping at the end of the day and save some money. Like, that's kind of where I was at. Now, through learning about the law of attraction, I've expanded my ability to expect abundance. And so today, actually literally today, as an example, today I'm actually making two rather large purchases. These are things I never would have considered buying back in my couponing days. One of them is I'm going to be paying cash this afternoon for a golf cart, of all things. And the other is I'm putting down a deposit on a brand new Maserati Quattraport that I'm going to be picking up this weekend. And so there's been this huge jump from the couponing lady who was trying to save a few dollars on her groceries to the person that I am today, who expects a lot of great stuff and can bring stuff like this in. And by the way, because I'm making these purchases with vehicles, in today's video, I'm going to have a few vehicle examples. So this video is going to look like one giant Andrea vehicle car flex, but this is a video on attracting abundance and expecting abundance. And I want to use these stories to show you how you too can expect abundance, massive abundance, and allow these kinds of things in. So, hey, if you want a Maserati, or if you want a golf cart, or a new house, or whatever it is, that you can align your expectations so that you can attract these things as well. Now, again, my name is Andrea Schulman. I make lots of videos on manifestation. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 simple ways that you can expect massive abundance in your life. These are simple tweaks and changes that you can make to your behaviors and perception to allow you to bring in abundance into your world. So the first suggestion that I have for you is actually something new for me over the last year. This has become a mantra I've noticed. It's something I've developed, and it's really helped me expect more things to come into my world. And the mantra is fairly simple. It is, if not now, when? If not now, when? One of the things that really gets in the way of expecting abundance for people is fear and guilt. Fear and guilt. This is something I dealt with a lot when I was younger and I didn't understand the law of attraction, but fear and guilt. I don't want to get this today because what if the money dries up? What if there's no money in the future? What if I'm going to be old and decrepit and not have the things that I need? And this is something that you see that's very pervasive with people who are struggling to expect and attract massive abundance. There's this fear that they can't afford things, that they need to be careful, they need to hoard their money, they need to save their money. And again, underneath that is fear, and it gets in the way of expecting large volumes of money. And so this mantra, if not now, when, will help you turn that around and get rid of the guilt, get rid of the fear, and make it okay for you to expect lots of money. It'll make it okay in your own mind for you to go after the abundant life that you want, expect it, and allow it to come. So a quick example of this might be something that's been going along with my home this past year. It's really coincided really nicely with this mantra. I started saying this mantra, if not now, when? And along the same lines, I started making improvements to my home. We redid the closets, we redecorated a few different rooms, we've added more patio furniture, we just had gutters installed. We've been doing all these different things to improve the quality of our home. And before saying this mantra to myself, I used to be a little bit more guarded about these kinds of upgrades, these kinds of purchases. And I realized that that had to do with fear and expectation, not expecting that it was going to be okay if I just upgraded my home. But I realized that in not doing those things, I was deferring my abundance to a later period of time. So if I'm not going to redecorate my home now, then when? What, am I going to wait till I'm 95? Am I going to wait till I'm in a retirement home and don't have a home anymore or can't appreciate that kind of stuff? And this is something I'd really like for you to think about, which is that, if you're watching this video, you want to be an abundant person. You want to have more things coming into your life. And so you really have to give yourself permission to go after the abundant life that you want. So if not now, when? If there are things that you can upgrade, things that you can purchase, things that you want to have that you honestly believe that you can afford, make sure that you're telling yourself, if not now, when? Because if you want to build that abundant life, part of that is getting on board with allowing yourself to having it right now. And telling yourself that mantra will give you permission that, you know what, it's a good thing for me to go after my abundance now. It's a good thing for me to expect that I can have the redecorated home or the nice car now. You want to give yourself permission. If not now, then when is a great way to give yourself permission and will allow you to expect that you can receive more stuff now. The second hack here on expecting massive abundance, and it's a simple thing, just like if not now, when is a very simple thing you can tell yourself. This is another very simple thing that you can do, which is to become an observer of wealthy people. Become an observer of wealthy people. If you can get around them, great. If you can't, watch television shows about them, listen to their podcasts, listen to them talk, because something that you will start to notice is that wealthy people have very high expectations of abundance. A wealthy person is going to be able to make large purchases and not really worry too much about them because they know more money is coming. When you're around people like this, it will start to rub off on you. So being around wealthy people will absolutely automatically, by osmosis, turn you into a more expectant person of wealth. And so for a really great example of this, a few years back, my husband and I moved into a more affluent community. And one of the reasons that I wanted to do this was because of this expectation thing. I understood that being around people who are wealthy will rub off on me. And it absolutely has. I've noticed that the wealthier people that I'm around, they're a lot more carefree. They buy things with the expectation that more money is coming. When you're around that, you start to feel the same way. It's kind of like if you're talking to someone who's got really high energy, they're really excited, they're really happy, and then all of a sudden you're smiling and you're laughing because you're picking up on their energy. And so a super, super easy way for you to expect more abundance is just get around those kind of people and observe them. Even if you just watch them through the television screen, okay, you will start to pick up on that level of expectation, which will enable you to attract more money into your world. For my third way for you to learn how to expect massive abundance is to push the envelope and then watch what happens. Push the envelope and then watch what happens. And I told you I have some car examples because vehicles are on my brain right now. But the trajectory of me manifesting cars has really worked this way. And so I want to use this illustration for you. When I first learned about the law of attraction, one of the earliest ways that I did this was through cars. I never really went out and spent a lot of money on vehicles. Obviously, I was fairly frugal and I wanted to make sure that the payments were really low and super, super affordable. And so I was picking cars that were very conservative and were not cars that I wanted. And when I first learned about the law of attraction, I started realizing how I could apply it. I decided to go ahead and purchase a GMC Yukon. And so this was a car that I bought fairly early in my trajectory with the law of attraction. And so I pushed the envelope. It was a car that was much more expensive than the cars I had bought before. It was much more outside of my comfort zone, so to speak. But something interesting happened as I got used to driving that car. That level of vehicle became normal for me. It was no longer like a big deal. The payment on it didn't seem big. It didn't seem like that big of a deal. The car itself didn't seem like that big of a deal. Over the course of time, that vehicle became, to me, super, super affordable. Super, super, to me today, the Yukon is a super conservative, affordable vehicle. And this is a shift in perception that comes from pushing the envelope. See, I would not be able today to go out and buy a Maserati and a golf cart in the same day, like no big deal, if I hadn't pushed the envelope earlier. You've probably seen this dynamic at play already in your life, maybe on a smaller scale, maybe on a bigger scale, but definitely on a smaller scale. Maybe you've seen that you've added something as an expense. So maybe you've purchased some kind of a membership, or maybe you've, started a retirement plan, but you've done something that has pulled money out of your pocket and you've pushed the envelope a little bit. And at first, it seems a little bit uncomfortable, but as time goes on, it seems normal. It seems like a normal, conservative, easy expense. And this is huge for helping you expect more abundance, because the larger the amount of money that feels small to you, the greater your expectation of how much money it is that's going to come your way. See, it's impossible for you to drive a car that costs $75,000 for a long period of time and feel that that amount of money is huge. It just becomes normal to you. Like if you lived in the Waldorf Astoria, that level of hotel over time is going to seem normal to you. And that's going to boost your expectation of money. And so something really, really big that I always encourage people to do is push the envelope. Now, you don't want to push the envelope so far that you don't believe you can afford something, or that you believe it's going to destroy you, or you believe it's going to ruin you, because then you're really tacking on the fear element too much. But how can you improve upon? How can you get a little bit more of what you want? Push the envelope within your comfort zone to a degree. Push it as much as you can, and then watch what happens, because you're going to see what happened with me with that Yukon is going to happen with you in whatever department you are stretching forward with. Now, I've got a couple more ways for you to expect massive abundance. But first, if you enjoy law of attraction, law of assumption, manifestation videos that blow your mind and teach you easy tricks to enhance everything in your world that you want, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out videos like this every single week, and I know you will enjoy coming along for the ride. And of course, please make sure to check that little bell too, so that you see the videos when they come out. All right, but now I have another way, number 4 here, on how to expect massive abundance. This is something I've noticed in working with the law of attraction, particularly in the comments and when customers or clients will write into me. This is something that I see that's a little bit off. That's an easy fix. Super easy, can make a big deal in your expectation and receiving of abundance. And it has to do with how you apply appreciation. Now, most people who know about the law of attraction already understand the importance of practicing gratitude and appreciation. What you think about, you bring about. And so most people who are savvy to this information understand the importance of showing appreciation and gratitude. But the tweak, the super important critical tweak, is an adjustment of how you apply the appreciation to quote unquote small things. It is very common that when somebody learns about the law of attraction and starts attracting in a certain department, they'll notice that at first it's a small improvement. So maybe you're working on your abundance attraction, right? And you're expecting a little bit more, and you're starting to notice that money is quote unquote trickling in. Maybe you're finding $5 here, $20 here. And in your mind, you understand that you're attracting it, but to you, it doesn't seem massive yet. And so there's a tendency for people to say, well, I'm attracting small amounts, or, it's not quite what I wanted, but I'm kind of getting there. I'm getting a little bit more. It's okay. But the appreciation isn't big. And so what I would challenge you to do is, if there's an area in your life with abundance and you're starting to notice it's starting to ramp up, you want to act like it's a super big deal. Like that $5 on the ground is like 500 to you or 5,000 to you. You really want to blow it up in your mind. And again, the trajectory with vehicles with me also displays this. Okay. So, when I was young, I did not come into cars easily. I was not one of those kids that my parents bought me a car when I was in high school or college. In fact, when I was in college, I needed a car because I had to work and get to my job, and I was taking the city bus, and my parents actually refused to co-sign the car, and they refused to let my grandparents co-sign the car. So I actually had to go out and convince one of my friend's parents to co-sign my loan for me. I actually had to take a city bus to the dealership to buy a used beat up Chevy Cavalier. And so this Chevy Cavalier, it had cigarette burns in the seats. It did not have power windows. So it was one of those you had to crank. It was a manual transmission. It had a stick shift, and I barely knew how to operate a stick shift, and it had no air conditioning, and I was purchasing it in the summer. And so this was not the car of my dreams. Let's put it that way. By the skin of my teeth, I managed to get a car that I needed. It was not the car that I wanted. It wasn't a huge manifestation, but let me tell you something. I was so appreciative for that car. It was so important to me at the time, and I might as well have been driving a Maserati back then. That's how excited I was about that car. And so I want you to think about that. If abundance is something that you want, and right now it may seem out of reach to be super wealthy and super prosperous, those first few dollars that come in, that's like your Chevy Cavalier, okay? No one was giving you a car. No one was hooking you up, and you managed to get it. So I want you to get super psyched about every little bit that comes your way. Talk it up like it's a big, big deal. Because if you make this abundance a big deal, small abundance that comes your way and hyping it up every single time. If you're hyping up every $5 or every penny on the floor that comes your way, you're constantly saying, wow, thank you. The universe is just throwing money at my feet. And that allows you to expect more money to come your way. So tweak your appreciation game. Hype up, quote unquote, small amounts. Anytime that you have the opportunity to appreciate money coming in, do so on a big level, and it will condition you to believe that you are someone who receives money on a consistent and frequent basis. Now, I have another tip for you on how to expect massive abundance. If you've been enjoying these tips, I also do have another video you'd probably enjoy watching next on how to magnify your money attraction. And I will make sure to go ahead and drop a link to that video in this one if you'd like to watch it next. But for now, let's talk about this fifth way that you can expect massive abundance. And it is to play a little game with yourself. And the game is, what if I had this? Okay, what if I had this? And so this is something, I got another car example for you. Like I told you, I got lots of car ones in today's video for you. But this is a really great example of getting you in the expectant mode that great things are going to come your way, which is just simply to allow yourself to dream about and experience the idea of you having what you want. It is very common that people will not allow themselves to think about having the things that they want. They just won't go there. You know, like, hey, maybe you'd like to have a private plane, but you're not going to allow yourself to really think about it because it feels too far out of reach. Well, playing this game allows you to start thinking like somebody who has what you want, and it allows you to start dreaming and drawing that to you and expecting it. And so the car example that I have for you is actually for my husband. So this was a few years back, and we had taken a trip to Colorado. We were in Denver, okay, and we were at a shopping mall in Denver. I don't know what the shopping mall is, but my husband was really interested in Teslas. Okay, so he thought Teslas were really cool. This is when they were first coming out. There weren't a lot of them on the road. It seemed like a very outlandish car to get, but he was really interested in them. And we were at this shopping mall, and inside of the shopping mall was a Tesla dealership. I don't know if they're still doing these. They might be. Let me know. Have you seen these? Do you know what I'm talking about? But it's basically like a store inside of a mall where they had Teslas, a few that were on display. And, you know, we kind of looked at it. My husband's like, oh, we shouldn't go in. I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead and go in. Let's go look at these cars. And so we went in, and he had the opportunity to look at the car, sit in the car. He started talking to the guy that worked there about how they get the cars, how much the cars are, all the kinds of things that you would communicate about, you know, buying a car. And that process allowed him and I to sit there and dream about it a little bit, to have that experience of actually purchasing that kind of a vehicle. At the time, it's way outside of the range of the kind of car that we would have been buying, but we played that game of what if we had this? And sure enough, within a few months, we had our first Tesla. Okay. Now, this is an example I'd like you to put forth in your own life, because allow yourself to play with abundance. Let yourself walk into the Waldorf Astoria, you know? Give yourself permission to walk into the Rolex store and talk to the sales girl or the sales guy about the watch that you want. Allow yourself to play that game, because it will start to stir up within you possibility. I could do this. I could get this. This could work out for me. And this is also, by the way, a really great way to tie back in with that earlier suggestion of pushing the envelope. Because you may just find that some of these things, these abundant things, you've just been telling yourself you can't have, which is slowing down the siphon from working for you. So allowing yourself to play this game will open you up to these things that you could technically afford and allow you to push the envelope and reach a new vibrational set point for money so you can attract even more. Now, if you enjoy learning all different kinds of ways to attract more money and prosperity into your life, you would really enjoy learning about my Law of Attraction membership program. I have a membership database that contains over 225 manifesting resources. Lots of them are on the topic of abundance, with lots of tips, tricks, and hacks to get you to the place where you're attracting the kind of prosperity you wish to be attracting. I will go ahead and put a link below in the description about that membership platform if you'd like to learn more about it. Additionally, if you are new to my work here, I would love to invite you to take my Law of Attraction test. If you would like to know for sure that you are the one creating your reality and you have the power to create anything in your world that you want, I've designed a very simple 5-minute test where you can put something out there and watch it come back. And to take that test now, go to the link manifestingtest.com. Again, that is manifestingtest.com. I will go ahead and drop a link in the description for your convenience, but manifestingtest.com is the direct link. Thanks so much for watching today's video on how to expect massive abundance. I really hope that you enjoyed it. And of course, I look forward to bringing you another video soon. Bye-bye.